What's up, guys? Private Eye Russ here. Salute to every single one of you out there. Um, this is going to be a short video, but this is part of my ongoing experiment with reaction and analysis videos. I'm going to react and analyze some of the things. I'm even going to give tips and tricks to different things. So let's get straight into this particular video. This is a false accusation um, report, and so all right, let's look at this.
Dakota traveled to Tampa Bay to cheat on her husband, but wound up facing criminal charges. That's because Renee Skoglund filed a false police report.
All right, let's go back.
Is almost just as wild.
Fair use. Fair use.
As that one. This woman from South Dakota traveled to Tampa Bay to cheat on her husband, but...
Okay, what do we talk about? We talk about when women travel, oftentimes it's, maybe they didn't set out to cheat, but in this particular instance, she actually met somebody for the purpose of cheating. And it's a very, very common thing. Maybe I'll tell a story about a guy who, found out about his wife traveling to cheat. But this happens a lot. Women do travel in packs, sometimes alone, sometimes in packs. When they travel in a pack, they travel in a pack for the purpose of offering each other an alibi. So they've got a witness. Oh, Sally was with me. We were hanging out the whole time. We got all these selfies and everything else. Meantime, they're covering for each other's infidelities. Again, my name is Russ Anderson. You can reach me at russ@privateeyeruss.com. Alternatively, you can send me a direct message on X at privateeyeruss. I'm a licensed private investigator, licensed bail bondsman. I own a private investigative agency right here in the Sunshine State of Florida. So, all right, so she traveled to cheat for the purpose of cheating. Let's hear this. This is good.
Wound up facing criminal charges. That's because Renee Skoglund filed a false police report while she was here, and you won't believe what she claimed in that report and why she did it. Fox 13's Gloria Gomez shows us how her trail of lies landed her in front of a judge.
Fair use.
Do you have any questions?
Your Honor, if we could request from the court.
South Dakota resident Renee Skoglund is far from home.
All right, and for the guys who think only really attractive women cheat, that is the furthest thing from the truth. Like, cheating goes all across the board. Height, weight, looks, pretty, not so much. From 1 to 10, there is no exception. There's somebody out there who will mess around with them, and so they will cheat if given the opportunities. Excuse me.
And in legal hot water that
she is not. I'm not going to say anything about her looks, but
even surprised the judge.
This is really unbelievable.
Skoglund's trail of lies started on March 8th of 2023, when she decided to come to Tampa Bay and cheat on her husband.
That she had had consensual sexual intercourse with an individual while in Hillsborough County, that she felt guilty about this due to her marital status, and
fair use. Sorry.
She wanted to get checked for sexual transmitted diseases.
So married women often will let their cheating partners go in there raw. So apparently she let whoever she was messing around with go in there raw, and then she was worried about getting an STD. I mean, I guess that's a legitimate fear, but why let somebody go in raw? You're a married woman, but whatever. Let's keep going.
But she wanted to get tested for free, so she decided to lie again and call 911.
I'm sorry.
Okay, this is what will has gotten guys jammed up for so many years. Women crying. They can cry on demand. As soon as they start crying, everybody just will take their side. And, she starts crying and talks about she got hard.
Sorry?
I was just raped.
Okay, how long ago did this happen?
Maybe like 45 minutes ago.
Skoglund made up a story about having car trouble on Interstate 75 and pulling over on the side of the road.
An unknown male approached her, put a towel over her head, and forced her into the back seat of her car.
He put a rope on my hands and my feet.
Okay, so she talks about somebody threw a towel over her head and then, allegedly did what they did to her. And if you listen to the recording, man, she sounds very convincing over the recording. She sounds like she's crying. Women learn how to use their emotional state um, for the purpose of manipulating men. And so they learn this from a very early age. A lot of young women learn this from manipulating their dads. So,
Because her face was covered,
by the time they're adults, they're experts.
she couldn't describe her attacker, but her story started to unravel when police checked her cell phone and found this Walmart surveillance video of Skoglund buying the rope herself.
And there you go. That's how her story fell apart.
She confessed to making the whole thing up. She was charged with making a false police report and decided to take a plea deal.
Or I never sentenced anybody for perjury, but it's a good reminder to everybody that perjury is a crime, and all of this stuff that you made up and the resources expended on it could have been used and probably needed to be used by other cases that were real.
Skoglund will now serve 2 years of community control and 8 years of probation.
Okay, so here's the deal, man. In Florida, depending on the severity and charges or whatever, you can get, I think it's 8 to 10 years is the statute for sexual battery, which is, grape. And she gets community control, which is she gets to stay at a halfway house or some other nonsense like that. So even when they do get prosecuted, it's usually it's nowhere near what you or I would get if we were accused of that and convicted of it. So, again, we talk about the disparity of the way things are prosecuted. There's a huge disparity in the way things are prosecuted. So, guys, you got to be really, really careful. You got to be really cognizant of what goes on and not let yourself get in this position. And so, we'll talk more and we'll analyze things and we'll start giving some tips and things and tips and tricks and strategies about how to avoid this sort of thing. Friends of mine make fun of me because I've got a list. I've got a list of protocols for everything, but especially when it comes to interacting with the opposite sex. Why? Because I've worked on so many cases, man. Especially the false accusation cases, and every single one I've worked as an investigator for a criminal defense attorney. Every single one of those cases wound up being a false accusation that was recanted later on. Not just thrown out, but recanted later on by the alleged victim. And so it does happen, probably happens a lot more than people think, but we're going to try to work to make sure that we can do what we can to avoid things. Anyway, if you need to get in touch with me, allergies. Russ at privateeruss.com. You can reach out to me at privateeruss on X. I'll upload videos on X, on YouTube. Not so much on Instagram. I have an Instagram thing, but there's really no traction there, so I don't really post on there very often. So again, reach out to me. But what I say to a lot of guys is this: if you are in a fight for your freedom, do not use a public defender. They are not on your side. Their job is not to get you off. Their job is not to get you justice or offer you legal representation, competent legal representation. Their job is to smoothly and efficiently usher you into the prison system with as little fanfare or resistance as possible. I've heard public defenders talking to guys about accepting 50-year deals. Oh, it's only 50 years. You're 40 now. You'll be 90 when you get out. You'll still be able to live your life and enjoy yourself. Like just ridiculous things like that. Anyway, it's your boy Private Eye Russ. I'll be back in the next one.